I thank the chair and welcome to all 6 of our witnesses. Obviously, this issue and HR 806 are incredibly important to my district and me. As I've said time and time again, I want clean air. My family breathes the air in the greater Houston area. When I moved there as a 9-year-old boy in 1972, Houston had the dirtiest ozone air in America. Our air is dramatically cleaner, and I won't let that progress backtrack. My first question is for you, Mr. Altieri. I'd like to look at Section 3B. That section says that if EPA's science advisors find a range of options that all protect health, they can use achievability to hit the sweet spot. Ranking Member Pallone and I debated this section on the floor last year, and his fear was that it would let EPA set an unhealthy standard. I said it then, and I say it now. We wrote the language very carefully to make sure that EPA can never pick money over science. Health was, is, and always will be the most important factor. So, if the science says we need a standard of 65 parts per billion to keep people healthy, so be it. But if they say anything between 60 and 70 ppb will keep people healthy, which happened recently, then my bill says they may, not must, may look at what is actually achievable. Do you agree with me that it's important for EPA to set a standard based on health, and then we do everything possible to make sure states like yours can implement those standards?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Our mission is to protect human health and the environment, so we recognize your bill and the language and the thoughtfulness and consideration that you put into drafting that language. And our setting a standard, and it's been said many times on the panel, setting the standard does nothing to improve air quality. Implementing control strategies and achieving those air quality standards, that is the improvement, and that's the protection of human health and environment.
My second question is for you, Mr. Sadreddin, and I hope I got close to that pronunciation. All right. In your testimony, you say that, and this is a quote, currently we are subject to 4 standards of ozone and 4 standards of PM 2.5, end quote. The Texans I work for back home do their best to work with EPA, but multiple standards on multiple pollutants that they claim health benefits is very, very confusing. And some people back home worry the EPA is taking health benefits from one standard and using those same benefits on another standard, double counting. And so do you believe they're double counting? And can you talk to me about what having multiple standards for each pollutant means in the San Joaquin Valley?
Yes, thank you. As we speak right now, our agency's in the process of putting 3 separate PM 2.5 plans for just PM 2.5. And when you add up all the standards, we will have about 10 state implementation plans. Our agency alone, on an annual basis, spends about $2.7 billion in just the bureaucratic process of putting these plans together. And that doesn't even include the cost to businesses, to other agencies, litigation. In terms of double counting, as I show in my testimony, written testimony that I provided for you, just to meet the 2006 and the 2012 PM 2.5 standards, we have to get enormous reductions in emissions, 90%. Those same reductions will also get us to the ozone standard. So when you take credit twice for the same reductions, that in a way is a double counting.
And so any way you can get around that? I mean, you said there's be no more growth, none whatsoever, in the San Joaquin Valley because of these ozone standards that can't be achievable. You can't control them, and also the double counting.
I agree with my colleague from California that meeting these standards is achievable. It's just a question of time. We just need the time for the technology to be developed, for the funding, for the resources to be there to put these measures in place right now. these artificial deadlines in the act do not provide the time to.
This bill gives you that time. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back his time. The chair now recognizes